back to China. As you guys know, I left the UK in June in 2022. First of all, I went to visit my family in the UK, which was absolutely fantastic. And then we travelled around some of Southeast Asia, and we also went to South Africa where I did a project. But now it's time to go back to China. I'm currently sitting at Heathrow Airport waiting for the first leg of that journey. I'm going to first fly to Bangkok. I'm going to sit out in Bangkok in Thailand for a little while before the Hong Kong border opens. Now, initially I thought the border was opening on the 8th along with other borders in China, and all the quarantine restrictions, quarantine etc. were being abolished, but there seems to be some confusion over when the Hong Kong border will open. So I've booked a flight from Bangkok to Hong Kong for the 17th. I may alter that at some point, and then I hope to fly to Hong Kong and then just go across the border back home to Shenzhen. I'm really looking forward to that. I haven't seen my family in China for almost 6 months. And I'm looking forward to bringing you some China content. But anyway, I'm gonna document the journey on my way back until I reach Shenzhen. So hope you enjoy it and follow along. It's the 16th of January, and tomorrow on the 17th I will be flying back to China. I arrived here in Bangkok on the 7th of January after spending Christmas with my family in the UK, which was absolutely great. And tomorrow I'll be taking a flight to Hong Kong, and I'll be crossing the border into Shenzhen and going back home. And I'm really looking forward to that. Right now, not all the border crossing points are open, so you need to check online to see which ones are. I've booked a space, a crossing time in the early evening at Shenzhen Bay border. This is one of the ones that are open. They're still limiting the amount of people across that border at the moment, so you do have to book on the Hong Kong government website, which I've done. And so I've just come here this morning to grab a little bit of breakfast. It's a place called the Coffee Club. It's quite near my hotel in Bangkok, and I come here I wouldn't say every morning, but most mornings to get some breakfast. And I've quite a lot to do today. Main things, I need to go and get a COVID PCR test. You don't need that to enter Hong Kong, but you do need a 48-hour negative test to enter the Chinese mainland. So I need to go do that today. I found a place fairly close to my hotel, which I'm going to go to and get that done after breakfast. Apparently they can get the result within 3 hours, and then I'll be back to the hotel to start packing my luggage. Oh, so that's not a good start. I've come to the building where the COVID testing place was, and it appears that they're not here anymore. So I now need to get back to my hotel, get out my computer and have a look where I can get a COVID test, because without that COVID test I can't get back into Chinese mainland. Okay, so I was getting a little bit worried then with that place not being there anymore, but the problem's now sorted. I came back to the hotel, I spoke to the reception desk, and they've actually organised a company that can come here and they do the test in your hotel room, and then they email you a confirmation of the result within 2 hours, which is pretty good. It's quite expensive. It's £75, which is about 650 RMB. And I'm slightly confused while actually this requirement is still required to enter China, that you need a negative test. Pretty much no other country in the world still does that. And currently, as China probably has one of the highest infection rates pretty much anywhere in the world, because they've just opened up sort of 2 or 3 years beyond most other countries. It does seem a bit strange that you have to get that bit before entering the mainland. However, you need to get it done, so I've got it done. As I say, it's cost me £75, which is an expense I'd have preferred not to have incurred. Right, so I've got the test done. Actually, the woman who came told me that if I don't need it in the next 2 hours and I can wait till sort of 8 PM for the result, then it's actually a bit cheaper. So it's actually cost £40, which is about 320, 330 RMB. Still much more expensive than taking a test in China, but it's got to be done. So it's now done. Just need to wait for that confirmation to be emailed to me. I'll get the hotel to print it out and I'll be good to go. But what I have to do now is the task of packing all my luggage, and I do have quite a lot of luggage because I've been traveling for about 6 months, and I needed, not only have I got clothes for the colder weather that was in England that I've had to buy while I've been traveling, I've got all my stuff I originally left China with and a load of equipment, and I bought a few more bits and pieces while I've been traveling around. So I do have a lot of luggage to pack, so I'm going to start that now. Today's the day, 17th of January, and I'm flying to Hong Kong and then crossing the border into China. I just arrived at the airport here in Bangkok, and it's time to go find the Cathay Pacific check-in desk, so let's go. Security done, onto passport control, and then hopefully after that to the gate. I've got plenty of time, so I'm not in too much of a rush, which is the way I like it, so yeah, let's go. Just time for a little breakfast and coffee before we board the flight. Boarded the plane. There is a slight delay, but the flight time's about 2 hours 20. So should be touching down in Hong Kong around, I guess, 3:45, 4 PM Hong Kong time. Okay, so after about 6 months, finally back in China. I'm going to get through immigration now, collect my luggage, and head towards the border crossing point to go back into Shenzhen, where hopefully my wife will be waiting for me in the car to drive back to our home in Shenzhen. So that's it, I'm back in China, and I just want to say a big thank you to this guy here, because I have a lot of luggage. He helped me with my luggage and he helped me with some of the procedures as we're coming through customs. But I'm finally, after 6 months, back in China. Right, so I'm finally home in my apartment in Shenzhen, and it was pretty easy getting through customs. I had my 48-hour negative test, but hardly anyone actually paid any attention to it. But I'm sure if I hadn't have had it, it would have been a problem. But yeah, I hope you found that video interesting, my journey back from the UK to here in Shenzhen. Now I'm back in China, I'll be bringing you a lot more content. I know there hasn't been much recently, and if any of you are wondering what's happened to Ollie, Ollie's gone on his own way now. He's hoping to travel around the world with his girlfriend. So he will appear on the channel from time to time, but he won't be here as much as he was before. But anyway, I'd like to wish you all a happy Chinese New Year. So to all you Chinese viewers out there, Xing Nian Kuai Le. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you do like the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. But as always, for now, take care.